This is the Ariel Rider W-Class. They've got 3 bikes. There's a C class, which stands for city, and an N class, which is right over there. I'm gonna check that out a little bit later. This is actually probably my favorite model that I've tested so far. I haven't spent time with the city class, but I love how relaxed it is. You've got the swept back handlebars, really soft, comfortable saddle with some springs, even a Springer fork up front, which is really unique. I haven't seen those. I think a lot of it is for style. I was on there, and I wasn't noticing a ton of travel, but when you combine that saddle that's soft and sprung with these larger tires, these are 26 by 2.3 inch, you get a really comfortable ride. I mean, this is probably one of the more stylish cruiser style bikes I've seen at a decent price point. We're looking at the premium model right now, which is $2,550. They have another model that's called like just the Cruise or Comfort. Is it Comfort? Comfort, yeah, okay. And that one, it's a couple $100 less, and you get a rigid fork, and the grips aren't quite as nice. I really love the touch points on this thing. I mean, talking about the grips, these are genuine leather, stitched. I've seen these before on other bikes, but they weren't quite as polished, with the lockers and everything. I love this one's. It's sort of shorter so that you can fit in the twist throttle over there, whereas this one's a little bit longer. You can see the display's mounted really far over here, and that's actually adjustable on the bottom. You can kind of slide it over. So you've got really good reach, pretty clean cockpit because they don't have a separate display with an independent button pad. And look at this, it's even branded. It says Ariel Rider right there on the display. Same thing with the saddle, just a lot of custom, fine touches. Awesome emblem right there. All of the wires are internally routed through the down tube, and while this battery pack style, I think it's called Silverfish, stands out a little bit more, you can see it's like there's the battery. It's black and it blends in with a lot of the the other kit. You've got the bars and the wires and even the tires and stuff. So I like that. Like if you're going to go for a little bit more of an external look on the battery pack, this one blends in pretty well. One of the neat things about it is that, of course, it is removable. And check this out, there's a lever on the saddle, so you can flip it up, and you can easily just slide that thing off. Now, one of the things I don't love about the battery pack is that you have to leave the keys in when riding. I comment on this all the time. They kind of rattle around and stuff. At least they stay mostly out of the way. Like while you're pedaling and stuff, your legs are up here, and the keys back there. And of course, you can, push it in, slide it all the way back, unlock it, take it off. So that's gonna reduce some of the weight. Loading this bike in your car, just trying to transport it, it could be a challenge. It's a relatively long bike. I think it's 80 inches. I was measuring it earlier. And I'll have that stat along with standover height and reach and some of those other things back at the website. But one of the things I love about the front wheel is that it's quick release. So you could take that off. It's gonna shorten it up. It's gonna lighten the load. Same with the battery pack right there. So those are just 2 options for you. Once you get this bike, I'm not sure how much you'd be moving it around. Maybe you park it in your garage, you cruise around the neighborhood, go to the beach or something. It's about style and comfort, and I like that. And I'm actually here with a founding member of Ariel Rider. Yeah. How's it going?
It is going well.
You're doing pretty well. I really appreciate you bringing these bikes out. I mean, you fit both of these in your van. So we were talking about transport, and you unloaded them. You're a little bit stronger than me, perhaps.
Yes.
Do you take the wheels off very often?
No, I don't actually, because if you have a van which is long enough, so you don't have to take anything off. It is actually pretty easy to hold them, because the weight are distributed
distributed evenly. Yeah, and that's one of the things. If you look at the battery pack, yes, it's a little bit more towards the back, but it's low, relatively centered. And then the motor back here. So this is a 500 watt, internally geared, and this is a Dapu motor. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen these on Easy Motion, Pedigo bikes, and they're one of the zippier, I think more powerful and responsive hub motors.
Yeah, they are definitely. That's why we use them, because people want to get around with these bikes. You don't want to just cruise slowly,
Yeah.
So it has to serve to the point why you are using the electric bicycle.
And on that note, okay, so yes, I guess things that call out to me with this bike, it looks really cool. The price is pretty good. Again, it's $2,550, $2,350 for those 2 options. And I mean, a couple $100. Did you custom engineer this fork, or I haven't seen this before?
Yeah, we did. We had to, because most of the Springer forks that are available, they don't have disc brake holders. Or if you want a disc brake holder, it's actually some attachments, which is not very stable. So we had to make all of that from scratch again.
And these are Avid BB7s?
Yeah, BB7s. So easy adjust BB7s.
Easy adjust, yeah. So he's talking about this little clicker right here. So if the brake pads are wearing down, you can kind of adjust it by hand without getting your tools out and having to mess with that. Again, so quick release here, tool-free adjustment, quick release on the seat tube right there. It just makes this a little bit easier to work with. And I love that one of the other things I noticed, again, I should just say 160 millimeter rotors, front and rear. One of the things that I noticed about the drivetrain is that you've got some upgraded components here. So not only do you have a quick disconnect for the internally geared hub in the back, but you've gone with Shimano Altus, which is like a step up from Tourney TX. So, you know, pay a little bit more for that. Is it supposed to be more reliable, or what do you get?
It is more reliable, and like we didn't want it, like people who are using, we didn't want them to like having to bring this to the shop for service that often, you know. So if there's something wrong, you can actually like quickly like disconnect it and fix it yourself.
I've noticed it has another little quick kind of tune thing right there. I was talking to an owner of a local bike shop, Myron's Extreme Machines, and he was like, yeah, you know, you can just kind of, you can dink with that a little bit by hand before you have to take it to a shop, but you do want to keep your chain lubed and things like that.
Exactly,
to keep it nice. I love that in addition to these plastic fenders right here, you've got a plastic chain guard, and it's a kind of a stylish one. See, it's cut out a little bit, punched out for the bash guard on that front chainring. How many teeth are on that chainring? Do you remember? It's
this is 46.
46. Okay. And then back here, you know, we've got the 7-speed cassette. So you've got enough range for a little bit of climbing, maybe. I mean, it's not a mountain bike or anything, but having 7 gears, you know, a lot of times, I think with like the Saunders bike or something, you get 1 gear.
Yeah.
So this is going to be excellent for, compared to that, like starting out at a low speed. Got a nice big ring right here. And then once you get up to those higher speeds, and that's what I was getting at earlier, this is officially 20 miles per hour class 2 electric bike because it has the twist throttle in addition to pedal assist. But the display lets you kind of unlock.
Yeah, I mean, there's a password on the display because like we wanted to put that feature on it. The reason is some people are buying this for their kids, so they don't want their kids to go too fast.
So you can even lower it.
Yeah. So like you can set the limit however you want to, like 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, or even more than 20 miles per hour. So it all depends.
Yeah, I think we were unlocking it earlier, and I think I was going like 25, 26 miles per hour. So, you know, if you're using this as like a pit bike or, you know, private property kind of thing, that's cool. But I do talk to people who are maybe just a little older and they're not in a rush or anything, and they're like, I don't want to go faster than 10, 15 miles per hour.
So that's enough for them,
Yeah, so it is stable. Again, you got the balloon tire. I guess these aren't officially balloon tire, but they're bigger and they're comfortable. They soften up the ride, but they also provide a little bit more stability. The longer handlebar here, I think this is 25 inches. I was measuring it earlier, really swept back so you don't have to lean forward. And I noticed there's even an angle adjust on the stem and some risers here. So this is really, it's all about comfort. And I love that even the pedals, you've gone with the Welgo platform pedals. See, they're just a little bit bigger, so you get good traction when you're pedaling, and I like that. So coming back to some of the drive modes, we do have pedal assist. It's cadence sensing, and there are 12 magnets right there. So it starts a little bit quicker. You don't have to pedal for quite so long before the motor kicks in. I was experimenting with like level 1 through level 6 because there are 6 levels of assist. I noticed that level 1 was soft, like it was nice. Sometimes level 1 is like zoom.
Yeah, but you don't want to take it like, especially when you're riding it in the city, you don't want to like go zoom in the city, you know?
Right, and it's adjustable. So another option here is you can go into the display panel, double click the power button, and you've got all those different settings where you can enter the password for the high speed, but you can also change the number of assist levels, all that kind of thing.
If you want to change, for example, you don't like the diameter of the tires, you want to change it 28 inch, you can still do that and adjust it from the screen as well.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. And again, the display is pretty simple to use, pretty easy to reach for me up here. I like that. And again, these quick disconnects. So if someone has an issue with the display panel, do you guys sell some accessories?
Yeah, we do have like all of them, and we can ship it right away. So it is very easy to do it like at home. You don't need to take it to the shop all the time. So
that's great. And the warranty on this, I think it was like 1-year battery, 2-year most of the rest of the stuff, and like 5-year frame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of the frame, so we've got kind of a black, a red, and beige.
Yeah.
And this is the beige. I think to me it's like kind of a cream yellow, like an Easter egg. I like it a lot. The color is beautiful, and just the logo and stuff. So I'm gonna walk around a little bit. Wired in lights. So they're both by Spinninga, which is a brand, you know, I hear and see frequently in the electric bike space. You can activate them. They run right off that main battery pack. And then the rear one, I believe, activates when you pull the brake levers. Okay, so we were talking about motor inhibitors killing power to the motor, but it also activates the light, and that's a cool safety feature. These are sold not just in the United States, but in a whole lot of countries. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we sell in 26 countries in total. So
26,
all around Europe, we're selling them. In Singapore, Korea, China, Taiwan. So yeah, we sell them all around, even in United Arab Emirates.
You have some of the nicer, I guess, just features as a result. And it seems like in some ways maybe that's led by the European Union, where you have to have lights.
Yeah, some of them are, exactly.
So it's a carryover, but it's a nice carryover.
It is, yeah. Okay. I mean, especially brake light, I think it is something that you should have it, because most of the bike accidents are rear collision by cars, you know? So it is something to prevent that. I mean, I feel all of the electric bicycles should have that now. Okay, well, it's nice that those are included. And I guess just coming over to this side, I wanted to call out the big kickstand. This is adjustable length too. The bike's, it's like 62 pounds, so it's nice to be able to feel like it's not going to tip and scratch your car or something like that. I think we've hit, most of the parts I wanted to call out. These are 13 gauge spokes, so a little bit thicker. It's going to be more robust, and it supports the heavier rider potentially, but also the power of that motor. It is an impressive motor. I mean, look how they're getting really small, these like internally geared motors, but when you feel the power, I think part of that's because you get a 48 volt, 11.6 hour battery pack. This is more than half a kilowatt hour of capacity. And you were saying you use Samsung cells. Yeah, we do. Like 29F, we use the Samsung battery cells, and they're like packed in a honeycomb structure, so it will actually cool down much easier, which essentially increases the efficiency of the battery. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And we were talking about how it's removable and everything too, so you could potentially take that off and you just have like a regular bike that still looks cool. And charging it, so you can charge this on or off the frame. We've got the nice little charger here. This weighs only like 1 pound, and it's 2 amp. So you can get some of the specs right there. I like that you chose one with the metal cuff thing at the end, so it's 3 pins. It just seems a little bit tougher, and it's not super huge, so if you have a little backpack, you could bring it along. One thing this bike does not have is like bosses for adding a rack or anything, and no bottle cage mount. Like I was thinking like maybe right here or maybe right there, but you were saying, well, it seems like most people who get this are cruising around and not endurance athletes who need water. I think everyone needs water. No, but they do, but like you can, I mean, there are lots of bottle options which you can just strap on. You don't need to you recommend the strap-on. I hear you. That's perfect. And you're right. You're correct. There are those different options for adding bottles and stuff like that. And it does look really clean and stuff. This only comes in one frame size, 19-inch seat tube there. And then again, I'll have some of the specs back at the site. What am I missing? Did we cover it? Yeah, I think you covered most of it. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, most of it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is cool. I mean, I'm genuinely impressed with the quality level, for under like that $2,500 range. It's pretty cool. It's a cool looking bike, and it's definitely one of the more powerful ones. People often ask like, oh, I want to go faster. It's like, okay, well, at least that's kind of an option with this one. But again, it ships at 20, and going slower might not be a bad idea for some of you guys too. So I'm gonna hop on this thing and show you how it works a little bit. First thing to do is make sure the battery's all charged up. There's the little power plug port, and then switch it to on. There's a little LED power level. It's red. Did you charge it up? Yeah, I did. You did. Need to, turn it on. Oh, all the way to on. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now the lights. Yeah, I unlocked it a minute ago. You can see the bolts coming out. Okay, anyway, so that's on. Then we come up here to the display panel. Hold the power button for a couple seconds. And I like this thing. I mean, so by default, it's not backlit by default. No, it's not. Right. But then if you hold the plus button for a couple seconds, you see the little light icon, and then the headlight comes on. Really nice, big. It's got a little bit of an adjustable angle. Can you pull one of the brake levers and check that? Look at that. That's cool. That's what I was talking about. And it's also kind of a reflective pattern there. So whether you're using the lights or not, you're going to get some visibility from cars. Okay, so we come back to this thing. You can see speed, assist level. You can arrow down and go to 0 assist, and the throttle works. So you can use this totally just like a little moped or something. It's like a scooter. Twist the throttle and go. And then, of course, you can arrow up between 6 levels of assist for increasing power and zippiness. Little battery icon with like 5 bars to give you some idea. We've got a trip distance over there. I think if we press the power button just once, we change from average speed to max speed. So, pretty good. A lot of little informational readouts. And then there's that double tap thing that I was talking about earlier. Neat to be able to get into some of those settings. So I'm going to just hop on and zip around. Go for it. I'll catch you later. By the way, this is Arda Onal. I didn't get to say your name before, and it's just, it's kind of fun to meet the founders and get a little bit of extra insights. I think I'm going to start off in assist level 1 just to show you that it's a little bit softer, and that's kind of nice. See ya.
Very nice. And you might have noticed there's a little bit of a delay in cutoff on this. I asked Arda about that, and he said, oh yeah, you know, we chose to delay it a little bit. So if you're pedaling kind of slow and you stop for a minute and then you keep pedaling, there's no cutoff in power. For a cruiser like this, I think that makes decent sense. You're not probably mountain biking or anything where you need like immediate cutoff. But if you did want to cut that off, you can use those Artec levers that both have motor inhibitors. So I like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna boost it up a little bit. Maybe we'll go up to level 6. There we go. That's the immediate power I was talking about. Woo! I also like that there's a little bell built in for safety up here. This time I'm going to do the twist throttle, and I'm just going to gun it so you can kind of see from standstill how fast this thing is. Note that, you know, I'm only like 135 pounds. I'm not really challenging this bike too much, but it does feel powerful. Like the motor does a great job. Doesn't matter what gear you're in. It's not a mid-drive, so you don't have to worry about shifting, mashing, or anything. You can just sit back, pull that throttle, and enjoy yourself. Here we go. Hit 20. Yeah, that's pretty fast. Woo! Staying dry with those fenders. Very cool, very cool. Hey buddy, how's it going? I had some fun out there. The fenders were keeping me company, avoiding the water. So I think that's about it. That is the W-Class Ariel Rider. I think, you know, again, all the specs and pictures and some feedback and comments back at the site. If you have this, maybe you're in Europe or one of those other, like, how many countries was it?
26.
Like 26 countries. Chime in. There are going to be different power levels on the motor. It sounds like the European requirement's like 250. Can you still unlock it and like do what you want with the...
Not really.
Can't really? No, okay, only in America. Awesome. So yeah, I'll see you back at the website, ElectricBikeReview.com, and of course, ride safe.